Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Command List. In this episode, I'm going to be ranking the best fighting games of the noughties, according to, obviously, my opinion, right? So this is not going to be based on sales figures or critical acclaim or any kind of Metacritic or anything like that. It's going to be based purely on my opinion, right? So I've already done one of these for the 90s, but now it's time for the noughties. So if apologies if you can hear, is a bit of a storm going on at the moment, so you might hear some rain or whatever. I'll try my best to get it out of the audio, but it's bucketing down here. It's absolutely cats and dogs at the moment. Unseasonably, because we're in spring now. So instead of getting swooped by magpies, we're getting drenched in rain. Right? But anyway, we'll start with the year 2000, and this was an absolute cracker, right? So in the year 2000, we had CVS, we had Street Fighter EX3. I mean, not all of them were crackers. Dead or Alive 2, that was a great game. And these are the first release, arcade or console, doesn't matter. Whatever the first release is, that's how I decide what year it is. You got Guilty Gear X, Power Stone 2, Tekken Tag Tournament was released in arcades in 99, but PS October 2000. That's why that's not in there, right? Because it was actually released in 99. So, but the one that's going to take it for this year has got to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Came out in February in Japan of 2000, and how can it not, right? It's a phenomenal game. People signed a petition to get it taken out of jail, quote unquote, when Disney took ownership, and people were still playing it on Fightcade. I was lucky enough to still have it on my PS3 digitally, but the netcode, obviously, it wasn't playable online. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it's an all-timer. Yeah, the music's kind of shit, but the game is phenomenal. The roster is enormous. It's a fantastic 3v3 fighting game. 2D, just peak of its era, right? So, 2000 Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'm going to take you for a ride. Now, 2001, another fantastic year. So, some notable mentions here. We got Rival Schools 2, King of Fighters 2001, Tekken 4, which is a much maligned game, but I actually do like Tekken 4. I spent a lot of time playing Tekken. Tekken 4 is great in my opinion. Virtua Fighter 4 and Dead or Alive 3. Now, Dead or Alive 3 was it's a second place finisher in this list in my opinion. Dead or Alive 3 is a great game. It's still played a lot today. Of the retro, well, I guess every Dead or Alive is pretty much retro now, but like of the Dead or Alives, of the retro ones, it's either this or 4 or 5. But yeah, I mean, people love 3. I like 2 and 3. Dead or Alive 3 Ultimate on the Xbox is also pretty fucking dope. So, but I'm going to have to give this to CVS 2 because it's CVS 2. It came out in August of 2001 in Japan. CVS 2, fucking awesome. Such a great game. I've talked about it in the past. I've done an episode on Retro Wars with Danny about CVS 2. I haven't done one on Command List with Jim yet, but it will get a special. This will be a sort of 50th or 100th episode kind of deal, this one. So, again, CVS 2, 2001. What a fucking slapping year that was. Right, moving on to 2002. So, 2002, a very strong year. We've got the honorable mentions here. We've got King of Fighters 2002, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Guilty Gear XX and X2, I guess what you could call it, Bloody Roar 3. There was a bit going on, right? But in this year, in July 2002 in Japan, Soul Calibur 2 was released, and Soul Calibur 2 is awesome. I'm going to play it on stream sometime. I've got the Xbox version myself. That's where I played it, but the GameCube had a solid port with Link in it. It's a famously good Soul Calibur. This was back when Soul Calibur was getting the respect it deserved, up there with Tekken. So Soul Calibur 2 takes 2002. Right. So 2003. 2003 wasn't as strong as the other years. We've got Soul Calibur 2 released on console, so ineligible, was already won the previous year. King of Fighters 2003, Samurai Showdown 5, SNK vs. Capcom, so SVC Chaos, Guilty Gear XX, and Bloody Roar 4. Seeing that CVS 2 has already won, SNK vs. Capcom SVC Chaos, it seems odd that it's in 2003. And like I said, that we've got CVS 2 in 2001. So for me, I've got to go with Samurai Showdown 5, right? I don't have a lot of experience with Samurai Showdown 5, but of this list, I think it's, aside from maybe Guilty Gear XX, hashtag reload or whatever reloaded, I think it's the stronger game here. It might not be stronger on sales. You might go, why not go with KOF 2003? I didn't really like KOF 2003, that's why. So in 2003, got to give it to Samurai Showdown 5. All right, moving on to 2004. Now, this is 2004, and guess what came out in 2004? Tekken 5. So Tekken 5 wins just automatically. It's the greatest Tekken, one of the greatest Tekkens there have been. Tekken 7's better, but Tekken 5 is probably second. Tekken 5 wins this year, hands down. It's a fantastic game. It was it went back to its roots with its gameplay as opposed to Tekken 4. So it silenced a lot of the people that hated Tekken 4, but it kept a lot of the people that liked Tekken 4 like me happy. The roster was great. The gameplay was great. You could play as two different types of Jin. It was sick, right? So it was a great game. But also in 2004, you have KOF Maximum Impact, Samurai Showdown 5 Special, Guilty Gear Isuka, Def Jam 5 for New York, Mortal Kombat Deception, which I like that game. I might stream that one too one day. Mortal Kombat Deception is a fucking great game. It is what it is, though, as a game. And you got Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Who cares, right? So, but of this year, Tekken 5 just sweeps it. No problem at all. Best game this year, easily. Now, 2011 wasn't as good, right? But we've got King of Fighters 11, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Samurai Showdown 6, King of Fighters Maximum Impact 2, Guilty Gear XX Slash, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Tenkaichi Sparking or whatever it's called. That's not going to win, so don't worry about it. Here I've got to go with King of Fighters 11. King of Fighters 11 is pretty good. It's, again, is it the best one? No, it's not. There's a lot of good King of Fighters games. 98, 2002. 2002 is a good one as well. What else have we got? 13. There's some great King of Fighters, but this one is a solid one. What are we doing? Yeah, King of Fighters 11 is probably the best game, my favorite game in this year. So we'll stick with that one. That's taken out 2005, released in arcades in October of 2005 in Japan. Now 2006, the list ain't big here, but there's some good ones. Right, so we got Virtua Fighter 5, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core, which is a great game. We got Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which a lot of people love that game. Very similar to Deception and Deadly Alliance. That game's sick. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi Sparking 2. Neo. Let's not forget to add that. But Virtua Fighter 5 has to win because Virtua Fighter 5 is still going today. It's been remastered 3 times. It's a great game. It's regaining its popularity again. The Steam version that's just come out, Final Revo, Final Ultimate Showdown Revo, I think it's called. Whatever, it's awesome. It's a great game and it wins, right? This game, it's also funny that this game is nearly 20 years old and they're re-releasing it still. Virtua Fighter 6 will be here before we know it, but yeah, Virtua Fighter 5 has to take this year. I've still got a copy of this game off of the PS3. I've got it on my Xbox. I've got Revo as well on my PC. I've got Ultimate Showdown on the PS5. What can I say? I love it. Now, moving on from 2006 to 2007. In 2007, this is kind of be a little bit by default, right? We got a bunch of Def Jam, Bleach, Naruto, Akatsuki, Blitzkampf, which I like him in Under Night and Birth as a character. Dragon Ball Z, Tenkaichi 3, and KOF Maximum Impact Regulation A. Never played that one. But Tekken 6 came out. And although Tekken 6 is a much maligned and not the greatest Tekken of all, as Azazel is a shitty boss, the story is kind of shit. Tekken 6 is the clear winner here, in my opinion. unless my research hasn't uncovered something. But yeah, to me, Tekken 6 has to take that year pretty much by default. Now, 2008. Now, shit's going to get interesting here because we have Street Fighter 4, Soul Calibur 4, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match, right? I mentioned previously, just a few moments ago, that King of Fighters 98 is one of the better ones. BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Arcade came out in November 2008. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. This isn't going to win. Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit. Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. That's another good one too, but it's a little bit kind of trapped on the Wii. You can play it on Fightcade probably. That again, great crossover. But ultimately, Street Fighter 4 lit a fire up the arse of the fighting game genre in this year, and it is a great game. Street Fighter 4, say what you will about the art style kind of being shit, it's a great game. It's a fun game. It plays like the old school ones, but better. It's got just more shit in it. It's a great game. It's 2.5D. It was the first 2.5D one, really. I mean, you could say, yeah, it's not 3D because it's 2.5D, but it's not. Yeah, we're not going to count Street Fighter EX, but yes, I think over Soul Calibur 4, which is not the worst Soul Calibur in the world, and BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, which is a great game, by the way. It's just the clear winner here, Street Fighter 4. It's got to be released in the arcades in Japan in 2008. Okay, now moving on to the final year. Unfortunately, we're not going to end with a bang here. There was very little released in 2009 in the way of brand new titles. I excluded revisions like the Street Fighter revisions and stuff like that. So we got King of Fighters 12, which I have a copy of for my PS3. I remember this. And although it looks beautifully, the sprites are big and they scale, the roster's shit, the story's non-existent, and it's just not a very good King of Fighters. It's the building blocks of the new ones, but it's not there yet, right? So King of Fighters 12. No, this ain't the one. BlazBlue Calamity Trigger released on the PS3 and Xbox 360 in June 2009. So I'm going to ignore what I said about the first release date. I'm going to give it to BlazBlue Calamity Trigger just because I can't possibly give it to King of Fighters 12. I just can't. I can't. BlazBlue Calamity Trigger is a great game. Even though, like I said, it released the year before in arcades, I'm going to break my own rule. I'm going to say that's the game of 2009. And unfortunately, there isn't much more there in 2009 to pick from. Mortal Kombat 9 is around the corner, but it's not in this year, right? So that's my pick for 2009. So just going over them quickly, the winners. We got 2000, MVC2. Obviously, enough said about that. It's a GOAT. CVS 2, 2001. GOAT as well. Great game. Soul Calibur 2. I could say it again and again. Soul Calibur 2 is fantastic. It's a great game. And then we got Samurai Shodown 5, Tekken 5 the year after in 2004, 2005 King of Fighters 11, 2006 Virtua Fighter 5, which is still going today, 2007 Tekken 6 pretty much by default, 2008 the reignition of the fighting game genre as far as I'm concerned, especially the 2D one. Street Fighter, Tekken never really went anywhere, but Street Fighter 4 came out in arcades then in 2008 and 2009. Just because I don't want to give it to King of Fighters 12, I'm giving it to BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, which is a solid game. Right, so you gotta love the fighting game. Like, you know, there was, even though the noughties were a rough year, a rough decade for fighting games, the genre did wane, the arcades did die. There's so much quality here. This is much harder than the 90s one. The 90s one had clear winners, right? I felt like, especially early on in the sort of from 90 to about 93, you know, but a very solid decade considering what was going on in the, you know, with the genre as a whole. It does get better from here, obviously. So you'll just have to look forward to my next podcast about the teens, the 2010s, right? Or whatever. We'll come up with a catchier title, but yeah, it's these are fun, and they're just my opinion. They're not Metacritic scores or critical reception or fucking sales figures or any of that stuff. But these are the games I love of those years in that decade, and I still own many of them on my shelf. I still have them on my shelf today, right? So, I mean, there is a video stream of this, but see here, Street Fighter 4, right here. Got my Soul Calibur here somewhere. I've got, Blaze Blue, Dead or Alive 4. I've got all these games from this era right here. Right? I've even got that. Sorry about the noise. It might be a bit far away. I've even got this King of Fighters 12. I'm showing it to the camera right now. So, I didn't miss much. In those decades, some of the years, it was pretty easy to buy every fighting game. I'm not going to lie, but yeah. Thanks again for listening. Don't smash your controllers. I'll see you in the next one.